Hey, thanks for joining us on today's live stream. Please consider this our gift to you, an exploration into the spiritual realm, the universal architecture of infinite possibilities. Here we teach, explore, experiment in order to share the secrets passed down from the masters. Hey everyone, the world may seem as if it's turned upside down lately. You know what? It's not. It's still business as usual. Well, kind of. Yes, there are still the trials and tribulations of everyday life that can create the stress in your life, the tension, the pressure, the anxiety that seemingly lasts throughout the day. And yes, the bombardment of the world's woes can be overwhelming if you let them. Where everyday challenges are just that. It's just a challenge, not the end of the world, not the end of your life, nor the finale to your life story. It's just a challenge, just an event, like the one you had yesterday, or last week, or last month, last year, an obstacle to be overcome. So what does this all mean? Will these problems, challenges, and the stress ever go away? Yes. Yes, they can. And yes, they will if you gain the 3 skills that we teach in today's live stream.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 103, oh my gosh, of Hacking the Infinity Matrix. 3 things to shield you from a chaotic world. As you're joining us today and tuning in, please go ahead and let us know in the comments where you're listening in from. So what city, what country, and whether you're live or you catch us on the replays. Seems like Facebook is doing some funky things again, and you know, it's not allowing our messages and our streams to go out to the normal places the way that it should. So as you're coming in, just go ahead and let us know what country, what city you're in. And that way we can all welcome each other as a part of this awesome global community that we have. Feel free to drop any comments or questions during the stream. We encourage you to be interactive because you'll get more out of it that way. All right. So it's for you if you're interactive by dropping comments, questions, and responding to us as we go along with the stream. So the question or questions that may be bouncing around in your head is, why do I need to be shielded from the chaos in the world? Well, here are 4 quick reasons. Okay. Maybe you recognize that you are not connected to the source of your true authentic self as consistently or congruently as you'd like to be. Could be one reason. Or you realize that you need to be open and receptive to the feedback you're getting from the reality you're experiencing and use it as a sort of a compass to navigate the difficulties that life may present. Some people just need to know that flow and ease are possible. And they want that experience. They want to experience it and actually have real life evidence that it can be that way for them. And others have had a mounting desire to connect with or find their purpose for being here in this space at this time, doing the things you do for all the reasons you're doing them. If the last few years have demonstrated anything, it's that things are crazy, right? And it's going to get, it's easy to get disorientated in chaos and the storms of the world events. There can be a lot of confusion, a lot of worry, a lot of concern, and even lack of life direction or purpose. Anyone here feel any of that since the 2020s began? Go ahead and drop in the comments, hashtag crazy 2020s in the chat, hashtag crazy 2020s. If If you've had that experience, if you noticed that since 2020, things have been a little wonky, okay? We've witnessed it. And there's a large part of that's a large part of why we began doing these live streams for you, to help share some insights, some guidance, some practices to assist you in reconnecting with your life purpose and allowing ease and flow to navigate you to your soul's destination, whatever that is for you. Stick around and get busy in the chat. We've got a lot of great stuff in the stream for you today. For some of you, it will be life-changing, but only if you implement what you learn and learn from what you implement.
Absolutely. So, we've been creating these live streams for 3 years now, delivering to you a distillation of 6 decades of research between Gary and I, and practice and the results on why some people seem to do so well in life, while others just struggle so much. The information that we have delivered over these years has changed so many lives, especially for those who stepped up and leveled up through our trainings and our challenges. And now this isn't about promoting our challenges. The next one isn't even starting for months. What it is about, what today is about, is the difference between those who do step up and those who don't. So what's the difference? Well, to begin with, there's a mindset difference. But we've made it very, very clear. Mindset is learned. And how do I know that? It's not that some people have one and others don't. Because no matter who you are, what you do, where you are in life, you have a mindset that brought you there and kept you there. You just need to choose whether there is where you want to be. You see, successful people are not people without problems. They have, as a rule, just as many problems and largely the same kind as everyone else. The difference is that they learn to reframe and solve their problems. Just like I said in our previous episode last week, successful living is nothing more than the ability to successfully solve problems, which are as much a part of living as breathing. The degree of your success will be determined by the extent to which you can solve your problems. The degree in which you can solve your problems is determined by how motivated you are in wanting to solve them, which by and large is driven by your mindset. If you can define and clarify what you want, we can explain to you how to get it. The issue with a great majority of individuals is not with their ability to achieve their goals in life, but rather with the failure to understand 2 factors that are vital to living their success. The first is to make the choice as to what it is that you want to achieve: money, fame, health, wealth, enlightenment, whatever you choose. And to want it enough to give it most of your focus until it's been achieved. What do you say? Secondly, it is to fully understand that you have the ability to achieve this goal, or you wouldn't want it in the first place. So you see that it's within reach, but you don't reach for some reason. You see, successful living isn't about the things. It's about your passion, your drive, and your purpose. All while understanding that your success in your ability to serve others. So we are a symbiotic society. We need each other, and we want to serve each other. because it's just as impossible to succeed without serving others as it would be to live in this modern world without others serving you. No matter what your stance in life is, people serve you and you serve others. It's an undefined balance of nature. It truly is the misunderstanding of this balance which is responsible for fully 90% of the frustration and the discontent that we see around in many of you, all because of an unspoken expectation in your mind. Now, it's a lot of people don't like nature's balance. They don't. And if it, and sometimes they're not even aware of it. I did this and I deserve it. But not liking it does nothing to change the basic laws of nature and economics, which are unchanging. You are experiencing this law in action right now. The global chaos that you are observing in nature's balance is correcting itself. That's what the chaos is. That's what you're seeing. A correction. And those who are out of step with them are corrected without haste, whether they like it or not. Their nature will correct them. But to those who know and work with the natural balance, they're rewarded with an overflowing generosity of abundance with which to experience a calming peacefulness in life, because they're working with the natural flows. This balance can come with two kinds of rewards or income, if you want to say. One is spiritual, the other is tangible. And as we've outlined as all the different forms of abundance, if you don't like your income, all you have to do is take a good long look at your level of service to society. The fact that the many individuals in fields of science and religion and teaching and so on must measure most of the rewards in the realm of the spiritual, and it does nothing to alter the fact that their rewards will be in exact proportion to their service. Look where you will find this law in undeviating operation of your reward will always be in exact proportion to your service. So this brings up a question. What I want is more than I have now. How can I increase my service in order to earn it? Let me repeat that. This is your question. What I want is more than I now have. How can I increase my service in order to earn it? Now we venture back into infinity thinking. Well, whom do you serve? Well, you serve people. So let's take a moment to try to understand people. The more you understand them, the better you can serve them. And I think a lot of adult human beings, or a lot of adults are human beings as a grown child doing this best to play with the first and last time on earth. This is it. This is all you got. Make the most of it. So you start as a child, you grow up into a human being. That's it. It's called the game of life. The extent to which you learn the rules of this mighty game will determine your success. But right here, you run into a historic and an exasperating fact. People down through the centuries have, with the most amazing consistency, divided themselves into two groups. And you've heard this over and over again in the media, and it's true. One group contains about 5% of any given population. The other group contains the remaining 95%. Does that sound familiar? You heard this before? It's true. It's been going on for centuries. Neither of these two groups is any better than the other. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Neither of these groups is any better than the other. But one thing separates them. The big group, the one containing about 95% of the people, never seems to get the idea, while the smaller group, the 5%, does. Now, what do I mean by getting the idea? I mean about 95% of people never quite understand emotionally or intellectually that we as individuals control, to an unimagined extent, our lives here on earth. That each one of you is the architect of the structure of your life, fashioned by the accumulated wisdom of your years on this pale blue dot floating in space. You see, all you relatively want are all the same things, but only about 5% of you figures out how to get them. They utilize that infinity thinking, that instead of this or that, it's this and that. And that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Within each of you burns two unquenchable ambitions: to serve prominently and to gain financial independence. I think we can all agree on it. Both of these goals are within the reach of all of you, man or woman. But statistics report that only about 5% achieve both of them. Why? Every human being has a tendency to think, act, and talk like those by whom he has surrounded themselves with in their environment. And it exercises an enormous influence on your lives. We've already pointed out that 95% don't seem to get the word in life, the idea. When it follows that in the case of any given individual, the odds are 95-5 that he is surrounded by a larger group. And since the body in motion tends to remain in motion until acted upon by an outside force, you will continue to conform to the group that you remain in. You get that? You will stay in that group where you're comfortable and you're content. You might not be as happy, but you'll stay there until an outside force pushes you into the next level. But you have to want that outside force. Gary and I are an outside force. In other words, their idea of success becomes your idea of success. Proportionately, the failure of most people to live successfully is not caused by their lack of abilities, which is far from it, but rather in their failure to choose with clarity and conviction what it is you want, and understanding that your wants are governed by your talents and your abilities. Because we are divided into those two groups of roughly 5 and 95%. And 5% group being the most successful, respectively. So here, let me give you a definition of success, which to my mind covers the subject completely. Success is the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You can borrow that if you like. Success is the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. This is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That is, anyone who knows where they're going in life is success regardless of whether it has been attained. You know where you're going, you're already a success. You may not have reached that yet, but you're already successful. At the moment that you make the decision of what it is that you intend to accomplish, of what is considered a worthy ideal, that's success. That you are now successful because you've made that decision, you've made that choice. Once this goal has been accomplished, he, she, they is again falls under the definition of failure because now you no longer have an attainment, something to attain. That is until you establish a new goal, a new ideal, and move towards that. This is what we as human beings were intended to do, to go through life from one achievement to another and to finally come to the end of our road here on earth. Not only becoming better as an individual, but as a species. This is the evolution of humanity. Still reaching, still working towards a new and better plateau on which to stand for this is to live and live completely. To know as much as we can know to serve. As much as we can serve to accomplish, as much as we can accomplish. And since success is the progressive realization of that worthy ideal, why we face with the only 5%, who can be called really successful? If only 5% of society is successful, is that really success as a species? Because the best estimates available tell us that only about 5% will ever decide upon and define the one thing they want, the one thing, because we can only do one thing at a time. And to my mind, the story of a person's life is the story of a quest, a search to which they devote their entire life to. We know that the happiest people on earth are those who know exactly what it is that they seek, and seek boldly. You have to find it. And while we're all dreamers, the fortunate ones of those are those who have found a dream so exciting and so worthwhile that they'll devote a part or all of their life to making that dream come true. So answer me this. Is that you? Because while we all dream, we all dream by far the great majority, 90%, 95%, never realizes that a persistent daydream is often the point on which we should set our compass, the place towards which it is meant for us to journey. The tragedy is that the great majority shrugs off this built-in direction finder and returns to the wide visible, the well-marked road in life, which they feel must be the best road because it carries the heaviest traffic. The most people are going there. And let me make this very, very clear. The road in life with the heaviest traffic is not the best road to follow, because that's the road of the 95%. It is the road with no more opportunity and with 19 times as much competition. You need only take a look at human history. Of all the billions of human beings who've lived on Earth, and all the great advances, all the great ideas have come from just a handful, a few thousand out of billions. And now how other people as a group reacted to these great ideas, the great leaders, the great thinkers, the Socrates and the Wright brothers have been scorned and ridiculed and poisoned and imprisoned and stoned and pilloried and burned at the stake or crucified. Mankind as a group has made consistently the grisly game of tormenting our saviors. Why? Generally, it's because it's ignorance or ego, jealousy, a lack of information, a lack of knowledge. It comes from following the wrong crowd. And what can we learn from this? As individuals, two things. One, to amount to anything as individuals, you've got to be an individual. You've got to have individual goals, individual thinking, individual action. And you must never, never conform to the great mass of people. You must love them. Help them, for your joy and success will be determined by the extent to which you serve them. But you must never lose your individuality and identity by permitting yourself to be submerged in this suffocating sea of indirection and purposelessness, just this emptiness. There's nothing wrong with immolation. In fact, it's a good idea, so long as we emulate a person who represents that which we wish to become, but never emulate the crowd, never the 95%. And you know what the answer was to the secret to achievement? It's pure simplicity. And it's caused, because of it, it caused you to elude, just as it manages to elude the majority of the people in any given age. I had been looking for something complicated for so many years, something only a mind prepared by years of study could grasp. And I found that, the answer is so simple. A child can understand it in 6 words. You can define it in 6 words. You are what you think about. You are what you think about. If you think about TikTok, you're going to become what you think about on TikTok. If you are constantly thinking about, soap operas, you're going to live a life of soap operas. Your mind's thinking controls your destiny here on earth. And to a degree, totally unsuspected by the great majority who's listening to this live stream. When you think about it, the moment it becomes so obvious, so clear and simple, well, then if we become what we think about, and if we can control our minds, we can pretty well tell our own future. Gary, this sounds so familiar. And it's at that point that I want to make that what I meant when I said earlier that each of us is the architect of the structure fashioned by our years. Because in those years, you now become what you've been thinking of. This means that if you're confused about what you wish to become or accomplish in your life, the infinity matrix will cause your environment to mirror that confusion. It also means that if we know what it is that we seek, that it must be accomplished, barring an act of nature or a catastrophe over which you really have no control. We as individuals can call our own shots for the rest of our lives. We can know what it means to go through life from one success to another and to play life according to the rules and reap the rewards. We can know what it means to have peace of mind and live calm, cheerful, successful lives. Because you are at this moment the sum total of your thoughts, and to this point further. There's nothing else you can be, and 5 years from now, you can be and have anything that you set your mind to, set your heart to, because we are in service to you. If you've missed any of our previous live streams, please help yourself, as they're available on our YouTube channel, and it's YouTube.com/@InfinityMatrix. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell for notification for all of our future live streams, our Infinite Wisdom series, our time clips, our shorts, our reels, and Gary. It's all to you.
Let me just go through a couple. So a couple of comments here. So Mildred says, I belong to the 5%. Ooh, way to go, Mildred. I want to break the limiting belief that holds me down. Yeah, well, and you got to think about, where did that come from and why are you holding on to it? Those kinds of things, we discuss quite often in a variety of different chats. And then Magna says, and with whom you want to do it with. Yes, absolutely. That's
Very much
an important part as well. And Mildred says, I'm moving towards success to reach self-realization. Nice. Excellent. And doesn't matter if you know who you are. Yeah, so when you know who you are, all the chaos that's going around doesn't matter, because you realize that it's not you, right? And it's a very powerful place to come from, for sure. Awesome. So and then I'm setting my mind to success. That's great. Awesome. So let me ask you a question then. Have you ever, or are you currently, do you recognize that you are not connected to the source of who you are? I mean, your true authentic self. Have you had that experience where you feel you're not fully connected to it? You're not in alignment with it? Or maybe it's just been a consistent, or it's been consistent, congruent as you'd, not as consistent and congruent as you'd like it to be. Right? There's this disconnect that doesn't always happen consistently or congruent. Okay. If you've had those experiences, go ahead and drop a hashtag disconnected in the chat if you can relate. Hashtag disconnect. All right. And the next question then is, well, what makes you lose that connection? If the connection is your true authentic self, what makes you lose that connection? What is it that gets you off course of your life purpose or passions? For each and every one of you, it's going to be a different answer. But it is important to recognize the thing or types of things that may shove, bump, or nudge you off of your true north. Some people have gotten so used to being nudged off the alignment with their truth that it just becomes accepted as just the way things are. And it's just the way things have happened. So that must be, they must have been given up on the attempting or reconnecting with their life goals, because that's just the way it is. Their desires and their true passions or purpose just kind of gets lost in the shuffle or forgotten about. To us, that's just sad. It's sad because most people don't realize. What they don't realize is that the impact of being even 1 degree off course and never recalibrating for course correction can have you end up in a completely different place, as Ross said, in 5 years, in a little matter of 5 years. In fact, 6 months, a year, 3 months, even a couple of days, depending on what the target is. 1 degree off is not on target, right? And so have you ever met, or do you know people that seem to have it all? It's like they made a contract with the powers that be in the universe, and through their focus, their drive, and their commitment, they get results in life that make them the envy of their peers. Know anyone like that? And when you witness their sorcery, because sometimes it seems like that, right? When you witness their sorcery, are you left wondering, what do they know that you don't? How is it they do that? And where can you get a hold of a contract like that so you can enroll in that programming? Right? Today, you're getting some insight, some insider wisdom to activate your purposeful intention towards shielding yourself from all the chaos that happens in the world around you. And get that stamp of empowered authority so you can live your life with purpose, passion, and spirit. And before you know it, you'll be one of the people you'll be the one people think has the contract with the powers that be in the universe. Because every day, things will seem to work out in your favor. It's really a simple secret. All you have to do, so here it is, the simple secret. All you have to do is find something that wakes you up at the core of your soul and sings to every fiber in your being in such a way that you are inspired and driven to live life to your fullest in order to experience that thing, whatever it is. Whatever it is that woke you up at the core of your soul. Now, I said it was simple. I didn't say it was necessarily easy. Okay. Our goal here is to give you that clarity, to help you focus on and allow that passion, that purpose, and the divine plan to consume your every thought and action. But only if you will allow it. I mean, only if you truly want to live a life that is full of meaning, purpose, and impact that goes beyond the years that you spend in the body that you have now. Beyond the years of this temporary gig that we call human experience. The unannounced and undiscovered secret to having all you could ever want is that when you finally get to a place where you truly are living a meaningful life, that is when you are resonating most consistently and congruently with the divine power of the God force, the universe, the all that is, or whatever you label it, whatever label you put on. And when you're doing that divine dance with your spiritually evolving life force, the only path is one that is filled with ease, opportunity, and all the abundance that you could ever want. So the faster you explore and discover what your purpose for living is, the faster you'll find that things start to work out for you in strange, bizarre, and magical ways. With that defined sense of purpose, you can plan from a place of pure manifesting power. Planning without any attachments to how things will actually work out. And you'll feel settled in a knowing that some way, somehow, and some when, they will work out for you. We believe that as a co-creative consciousness in this time of our evolution, it is becoming more and more critical that you discover your big why. So whether you're in the 5% or the 95%, discovering your why you are here, what is the soul's reason for your existence, and to do it as soon as possible. Because when you do this, you will add to the collective vibration and a tipping point will be reached. A tipping point where a significant amount of us have shifted in such a positive way that it will create a ripple impact all around the globe. Now, these concepts are no longer just flower child, hippie, woo-woo ramblings. Science is proving these things can and do happen. So when you tap into that purpose, the impact it has begins close to you. And you'll experience it in all 8 dimensions of your reality. And we talk about these 8 dimensions in our 5-day challenge that we put on a few times a year, okay? Make sure you stay in touch and join when we do the next one. May, I think, is the next one that we have coming up. Anyways, so be aware and tune into that when we allow the enrollment to start on that, because it's an amazing 5 days. Okay, in the 5 days we talk about these 8 dimensions of your reality that you create and experience: career, finances, self-growth, health, relationships, contribution or charity, playtime, and spirituality. So your purpose, when you tap into that, it will permeate through each and every one of those, enriching, enhancing, and evolving all of them. Okay? It doesn't skip out and say, oh, I'll forget about that. I mean, it touches all of them. And when you truly know what you want to do with your life, that's when you can know the kind of things you should put into your plans that increase the probability of bending reality to your will. And at the same time, you'll become aware of the things you should be avoiding, so you stay clear of the things that can lead to difficulty, stresses, or strain, frustration, and even confusion. But be prepared, because living your life on purpose will set you apart from most of the people around you. If you were in the 95%, you may shift into the 5%, and the people in the 95% you will seem different to them. If you're already in the 5% and you're getting more clear on your purpose and passion, you then bump yourself up into the 1%. And you will seem different to them. Remember, I said seem different. It doesn't mean you are. What's happening is the more truth of who you are starts to come through. So you need to be prepared to claim and acknowledge your uniqueness as the expression of the truth of who you are. And once you recognize your strengths and gifts, the next stage is to create that plan that can help you to maximize them. Your plan becomes one variation that will lead to your destination, but you honor the flow and grace of the divine, so you remain open for alternate routes that may be more enriching and perhaps even more direct. But the plan begins within the limitations of your mind, but it's projected into the infiniteness of all that is. And one way to project it with clear intention is to take time to write it out in one way or another. You can write it down like a story. You can put bullet points outlining the key targets that let you know you're on your way. Or you can get creative and draw or use any means of art to demonstrate that one potential path. And when you stimulate the creative, emotional aspects of your being during this process, it gives it an extra manifestation energy, like a boost. So make sure you put your attention on that plan regularly. Visualize it, think about it, consider other alternative options and possibilities, and be open for synchronicities that show up in your life that may propel you towards your outcome. Reconnect with the reasons why it's important to you. Stay in touch with all the positive and empowering emotions that come up when you're drafting your plans. And at any time you find yourself slipping in motivation, dedication, clarity, or focus, go back to the drawing board. Go back to using your creativity to write, draw, and demonstrate the goals and objectives you have, double checking the details, adding, editing, or even removing anything until you feel a sense of it being possible again. In this way, you'll continue to pursue your goals with passion, purpose, and focus. But ultimately, it's all about the pursuit of your personal happiness, living life one moment at a time, following your greatest joys, doing them to the best of your abilities for as long as you're capable, without any insistence on a specific outcome, and staying positive no matter what. When you are aligned with your purpose and you follow it with clear yet flexible plans, your energy will increase, your emotions will balance, and it will actually rewire the neural circuitry in your body. Remember, happiness doesn't come when you achieve the goal. It's a byproduct of being on the path that's carved out by your passion and your purpose. Thanks, Mary. I love you too. So be careful not to fall into the traps of instant gratification, though, because you'll find that more and more things will just work out in life in your favor. Honestly, it does feel nice in the short term. However, it can make you lose sight of the long-term benefits that you're shooting for, because you can get hooked on getting those quick, fast, instant gratifications. And when they don't happen, you start judgments, right? You start doubt. Okay? Enjoy them. Okay, because if you get caught up in that, they can cloud your judgment. Or you can get distracted with all the kind of shiny objects that can give you that gratification. Anybody here know about the shiny object syndrome? Okay, some of you intimately. All right. So make sure you enjoy. Make sure you enjoy the moments and remain focused on the big picture of your purpose. The big why in your life. What kind of legacy are you here to leave? Prioritize your legacy and the impact you are destined to leave. It's this desire for instant gratification that makes people commit to all sorts of atrocities that we see around us. Okay, many individuals go into business with the aim of cashing out as soon as possible, right? Because they're looking for the instant gratification, or as a result of their mindset, they are desperate and they don't mind ripping off others, out of their hard-earned money just to earn a quick buck, right? They don't mind making others sad as long as they've been able to increase their account balance. And we see it all the time, right? It's because they've lost sight. They got caught up in the instant gratification stuff. The what I call the Starbucks transformations. Drive up to the drive-through, put the order in, pick it up, and go. It doesn't last. And that's why you got to keep coming back to that lineup. Right? Okay. So that kind of short-sighted approach will almost certainly lead you into pitfalls greed can make you stop considering all the dangers that are associated with certain decisions or actions. So always set out to do things with integrity and aligned with your purpose. If you're an entrepreneur, be the one who becomes the shining example of how to achieve financial freedom without losing your soul in the process. And the way to do that, as we've talked about all throughout this, is to pour yourself into serving others. As one of the greatest motivational speakers of our time once said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help others get what they want. And that's good old Zig Ziglar. Okay? Nothing else can make you feel you're making your life count than when you are serving others with your gifts and your talents. So please take these insights as our gifts to you, so that you can go out and do the things that will keep you in a protected, safe place that shields you from the chaotic world that's out there. Let me go through some of the comments here. So Mildred, wake up, everyone. We are all in this together as an individual, being a part of the whole. Awesome. I totally agree with that. I pay attention to self-realization of myself because it is there when I vibrate higher. I decide to be successful because I am. Absolutely. Remember by the one, it scrolled. I missed that one. Anyways, how can I help you? How can I be service to you today? Absolutely. Great questions. Thank you for this session. It's facilitating my focus. Thank you. You're welcome, Cecilia, and everyone that's here. That's our stream for today. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did and you haven't yet commented, please let us know. And we look forward to, we do this every week, every Thursday. Like Ross said, we're into third year doing this now, third year and change now. And every Thursday we're doing live stream here, 9 a.m. Pacific time, unless we're doing a challenge. And then the week of the challenge, obviously we don't do that because we're focused on that at the time. So remember to check out our YouTube channel. Just use the handle @InfinityMatrix. That's the @ and Infinity Matrix as one word when you get to YouTube, and then make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch our hundreds of hours of content there. Some really good stuff to binge on there if you like the content that you're getting here. And also the link for our private group is pinned to the top of this as a comment. In the comment section is pinned to the top. And you can come and join us in our private group. Make sure you answer the 3 questions to get entered in, as well as become part of our VIP list. All right. So until next time, we dare you to be exceptional. And the only way to do that is to implement what you learn and learn from what you implement. Thanks for being with us today, everybody. My name is Gary Johnson. This is my partner, Ross Arnson. We are here with the Infinity Matrix. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
So we truly hope you enjoyed this latest live stream. Each week, we bring you the best in cutting-edge techniques and processes to help you better yourself and create the reality you desire. In order to stay notified for more live streams like this, as well as any upcoming interviews, master labs, or time clips, be sure to click the like button and ring that bell. As a matter of fact, you might be ready to step things up for yourself. You see, everything and everyone you've been exposed to in our live streams all have one thing in common. They've harnessed their own potential, claimed their badass self, raised their game, and leveled up. Whether it be in business, personal, romantic, for whatever dimension of life you choose, there's always a next level. So we encourage you to rekindle your passion, your purpose, and spirit, and step it up and register for our next free 5-day badass challenge. The link is below, and we are excited to see you take a leap into a new reality that only you can imagine.